Welcome. My name's Adam, and this is the Rock and Roll London Pub Walk. If you're someone who wants to make money out of someone else's talent, then you have to be near where the talented people are. They're here, and so this Denmark Street grows up as the home of the music business. Just to illustrate, the Sex Pistols lived and worked down here. The Rolling Stones made their first album down here. Pink Floyd's album sleeves were designed down here. And Reginald Kenneth Dwight began his music career down here as well, whoever he was. David Jones comes into our story here. David Jones changed his name to David Bowie in 1967. Reginald Kenneth Dwight became Elton Hercules John. If you're going to change your name, don't mess about, you know. Make a good job of the whole thing. So the Pistols and Floyd in the same building. Strange bedfellows indeed. One mention of the Sex Pistols and the sirens go off there. Do you see that? 40 years on. Demos and jingles. That's what we used to record here, which means it was cheap. Enter the Rolling Stones as young guys. The first album, called Rolling Stones in this country, was produced at Regent Sound Studios. The Who did demos, the Kinks did the demo for You Really Got Me in here. Hi-ho, Tips of Joe. She broke a needle and she can't sew. Walking the dog, I'm just a walking the dog. If you don't know how to do it, I'll show you how to walk the dog. What business would Bob Dylan have in London? The freewheeling Bob Dylan, the album that made him, the album that made many of us. It ain't no use to sit and wonder why, baby, if you don't know by now. Thank you. Been a musician for years. For years he'd been a musician. It was here that he becomes the legend, Jimi Hendrix. An old folky place, folk music. It becomes one of Paul Simon's favourite places to play in London. So he toured England, toured Britain, Paul Simon, and he got as far north in England as a place called Widnes in the northwest. And when he got there, he became homesick, and he wrote a very famous song about it. You know the song. You will remember that he was sitting on a railway station with a ticket for his destination, yes. When the Saxies come in on the Beatles single Lady Madonna, it's Ronnie Scott. Charlie Watts played here, the drummer of the Rolling Stones. The Who played here. Remember where we started? We said that Elvis didn't come here, so we made do and we mended. We made our own Elvises, and this is where we did it. The Two Eyes Coffee Bar. We played skiffle here. Skiffle. We can't overstate the importance of skiffle, given that John Lennon's first band was a skiffle band, the Quarrymen in Liverpool. Skiffle grows into rock and roll. Our English Elvises are all associated with the Two Eyes Coffee Bar. Among them, Cliff Richard. In his day, he was the English Elvis. Move It was his first record on the Green Columbia record, not a bad record. The manager of Led Zeppelin began his music business career at that door, keeping the likes of me out of the Two Eyes Coffee Bar, the birthplace of British rock and roll. And it's at this point, ladies and gentlemen, that we part company with one final thing to say. It is a privilege to shout my head off in the street about the city I love more than any other, on the topic I love more than any other, in the company of my favourite people, music fans. You've been great company today, ladies and gentlemen. Please come and see us again. And thank you for joining us this evening. Well done. Thank you very much.
Excellent tour. Really enjoyed it. Recommend it to anybody and everybody. Rock on.